everybody, welcome to the Drum Mission. We're back. We took a week off. I put up a video short, but I didn't do a full video. I just wasn't inspired for anything, and I did have a lot of gigs, and this channel doesn't make a lot of money for me. It's just something I do because I love to do it. And if I'm not inspired, and I have nothing to say, I'm not going to fake it. You know, I'm not doing this to, gotta get the video out, I'm gonna lose a subscriber. If I do, okay. And then I watched some YouTube videos, and I happened to see some stuff I disagreed with, and I thought, okay, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about being formally trained versus self-taught, and what that means. And I want to talk about what's the best way for you. And I'm going to give you some, like a palette of things here, some general rules to go by that I think, I'm a gigging musician, have been since I was 16. And I'm going to talk about some basic general principles I think will help you to do what you want to do, and again, to do what you want to do. Maybe just to be a better weekend player, maybe to get more local gigs, or maybe to one day be pro. And I mean, maybe you're in your 40s or your 50s and you got laid off in, bozo's economy, and you would like to see if you could go at least pro locally. Well, let me give you some ideas, because I have to say, I have been pro for quite a long time, and I have done the national thing, and I have toured around the world, and I have done cruise ships, and I've done all that kind of stuff, and now I pretty much play locally, and I manage to keep myself making most of my money through playing drums. And not that I know anything or that my way is the right way, but let me give you some ideas. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this misnomer of self-taught. There is no such thing. Everybody has 2 ears, and you hear guys play, and you hear what they're doing, maybe in your favorite band, whether it's Ringo or Steve Gadd or one of the new guys. There's YouTube, and you watch people, and you try to copy them. So even that person, maybe you didn't go to a formal drum instructor, but you're not really self-taught. You're watching what already has been done. And there's tons of YouTube instruction you can even get. I mean, so there is that. I do think it helps to have a private instructor if he's a good one. And this is training versus self-taught. So I'm saying there is no self-taught. What I'm saying is learn the way that feels right for you. What's the way that you like to learn? Maybe you're really good at picking up stuff on YouTube. Maybe you really like doing that, and you can kind of pick what you want to learn. Then do it if that's working for you. If you're seeing a result. Are you seeing a result? And is there a progress? Is there a metric of progress? So number one, what you want is some basic training. You want, and this is where you have to decide. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it from watching guys. I think this is easier to get from a personal private instructor. You need to hold the sticks the correct way. You need to hold the sticks the correct way, and I hate to use the word correct. You need to hold the sticks in a way that works, that gives you the ability to use the bounce method and molar. And the reason why I think that private instruction can be good is because why reinvent the wheel? There's some things that we figured out work. Some ways to hold your stick, some things to do with your fingers. Tommy Igoe, he comes off like a bit condescending, but he has some really good instruction about hand technique. So does Jojo Mayer. Really good instruction on YouTube about hand technique. So that's your basic training. How do I hold these sticks? Get a few rudiments you can put under your belt so you can work that out. That is the key. That is the thing that you need to unlock all the doors that there are to unlock. There's always a damn fly in this apartment, this condo. No matter what I do. Continuing. So again, you need that basic training. Where you get it, that's up to you. Now the rest of it, once you get that basic training, whether you, I think, like I said, I think it's best from a private instructor, or you got it from YouTube, then everything else is really up to you. You can get it from just watching guys. You can go to clubs. You can get it from hanging out with drummers who are established in your area who play a lot. And hey, I watched you do this. How did you do that? Oh, I watched you do that. I watched you do this. And that will really help you to get where you want to go. What I'm saying is, how can you get there as fast as possible? This is time. You need to spend time with the drums, working out the things you've seen, working out the things that you have heard from other drummers, that you've watched, that you've heard on records, working them out to the best of your ability. You need to spend time just playing the kit, just getting comfortable on the kit. How much time? That's up to you, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you are, depending where you are, if you're a novice and you're trying to go some kind of pro, even if it's local, you really can't go less than an hour a day. I would say 2 hours a day. I want to say this about me. Right now, there's some things in my playing I'm trying to up the level. I kind of want to get back in the national world a little bit if I can one last time. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm upping my level of playing. So there's some of the young stuff that the younger guys do that I'm taking on, and I'm working about 2 hours a day, anywhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours a day. Not every day, about 4 times a week, and I've been playing for over 40 years. Because I know that's what I need to do to get to where I want to get. And I want to get there before the end of this year. And I've already seen, I only really started digging that hole about a month ago, and I'm already almost there. I'm seeing such progress, I can't believe it. So, okay, rule number one, get your basic training. Rule number 2, spend time with the kit. Spend time with the kit. 1 hour, 2 hours a day, 2 hours 4 times a week, 5 times a week. You need to spend time with the kit. When you can't spend time with the kit, play your pad while you're watching TV. Play your pad while you're watching TV. And this brings me to my next point. Do not just imitate, emulate. So the little thing I put in there, I had to change some camera settings, but the little thing I put in there was some stuff that I developed on my own by watching guys and then making it my own. In other words, yes, maybe you see somebody say something on YouTube or teach something on YouTube. Learn what they showed you and then make it your own. Do not just imitate. Emulate, yes. So when I'm at a gig, I'm often thinking, oh, gee, this song has this kind of feel. It sounds like something that Ringo might play on. What would Ringo do? This song sounds like something that I could hear Gad doing. What would Gad do on this? But I never imitate. I emulate. I might be in the ballpark of what somebody might do. And I have had it said to me, oh, I like that stuff you were doing under Tasha, really Gad-ish. And yeah, Gad-ish, but it's Glenn's version of Gad. Glenn's version of Gad. Because look, you're going to be there no matter what. So yes, you want to create a style for yourself, but a great way to learn, and to learn fast, is to love what you're learning. So when I watch something that Gad did, and I dig it, I can't wait to play that and get it down. And then for me, it's never enough to do it like I saw Gad do it, or Weckl, or Stewart, or Bonham, or Darnell Lewis, or that guy, I really love him, Nate Smith. I watch him all the time. I steal a lot of his stuff. It's never enough to do it like they did it. I've got to twist it. I start playing around with it until it becomes mine. Until it becomes mine. So, rule number 1, basic training. Rule number 2, spend time with the kit. Rule number 3, don't imitate your heroes, emulate them. Don't imitate, emulate them. And don't worry about losing yourself. You'll be there whether you like it or not. And this leads us to the last thing. The last thing. Let me give you a little more playing and we'll come back because this is the part that you can't quantify. So by the way, everything you're seeing me do in these little breaks is stuff that I've gotten from folks that I made my own. Some stuff I'm doing directly like they did. Some stuff I'm doing it my way. But I'm having fun with stuff I've heard, you know? And this, again, this brings us to this last thing. Here's the thing that I think Ringo has and Steve Gadd has. Despite that Steve Gadd went to Juilliard, or I think the Manhattan School of Music, and I think he studied from John Eastman. Despite that, Ringo had no training whatsoever. Weckl, there's a bunch of people he learned from. I think he did some work with Freddie Gruber. Neil Peart did some work with, I hate this fly, did some work with Freddie Gruber. And he changed his playing around. There is a drastic difference in Neil Peart's playing from when he did the Buddy Rich Memorial the first time, and he was watching the other drummers, and he went and studied from Freddie Gruber, and you watch him in the next memorial, he's way better. He was already great, and he got way, way, way better because he saw stuff that was happening with Gadd and Bosio and Erskine that wasn't happening with him.
To have, I think, what the traditional grip allows is that kind of gathering of motion toward the body. And what I found it valuable for is in a musical sense, that I can get the rotating motion going on here on the snare to the cymbal, and I can develop the same kind of flexibility with the left hand around to all the other items of the drum set with a little bit of practice. Of course, after 30 years of playing matched grip, it was quite an effort in 1 year to reinvent a whole style of playing based around the traditional grip. And when I asked Freddie about that, Freddie, is this really what I should be spending my time on, developing a whole new facility and a technique that I haven't been using for 30 years? And he just dismissed that like it's all the same, it doesn't matter. And it's true, many of the exercises that he gives me for thumb control and for hand control and so on can be done with matched grip as well as traditional. So it comes down to being a pretty small point, but it seems to me that in the fluidity of timekeeping and the fluidity of adding ghost notes and so on through the course of playing patterns to the cymbal or to the hi-hat, I was able to get a much nicer flow of rhythm and a much nicer pulse to the time sense by using traditional grip. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big fan of Neil Peart, never really was. And it was mainly because I thought his swing was really lacking. And he admitted that in the Buddy Rich Memorial, the first one, in that video. And then he goes to Gruber and he finds out what the problem was. So here was Neil Peart being called one of the greatest rock drummers of all time, who realizes, no, I got to learn more. That brings us to the next topic. Neil played drums because it was the only thing he wanted to do. And whatever his age was at the time, 40 years old, 43, I don't know, he knew he wanted to get better yet. They were calling him the greatest rock drummer, but that wasn't good enough for him. He saw things he couldn't do and he wanted to do it. Ringo, when you watch him play, he played like his life depended on it. Life depended on it. When you watch in those early live clips, he is just hitting so hard. He just loves what he's doing. And Ringo, I'll find the clip if I can, I'll pop it in here, where he said he knew the only thing he wanted to do was play drums. That's it.
7, I had my birthday in hospital. I had peritonitis. really bad. And then I had my 14th birthday in hospital with tuberculosis. And when I was 13 in this hospital, in those days you took streptomycin and fresh air. They moved us to a greenhouse away from where I lived in Liverpool. And streptomycin was the pill. And put you in bed for months. So I was in bed like 10 months. And to keep us entertained, people would come in, teachers, and one woman used to come in, not so often, but she came in, and she had percussive instruments. You know, she had maracas and tambourines and a little drum that you hit, and she'd point to the red dot on the chart, and you'd hit the drum or the yellow dot, you know. And I hit that drum, and it was amazing. I only would play the drum in this mad band that she'd bring in. And I only ever wanted to be a drummer from when I was 13. I didn't want to be a guitarist or a piano player. Well, later on I wanted to be a piano player, but it just was one of those moments in my life that I wanted to be a drummer.
Gad, oh my goodness. Gad played 8 hours away. 8 hours a day or more in the studio, all sorts of different people. He practiced at home. Gad played nonstop. I think when you listen to the first 10 years of his career, you got to think to yourself, when did this guy have time to do anything except play? He was in the studio 8 to 10 hours a day. He had gigs at night. He's 80 years old now, and he's touring with Clapton. 80 years old. He plays like his life depends on it. There is nothing else Steve wants to do. And okay, if you're not like that, that is okay. Look, for me, drums changed my life. Long story short, I was getting bullied, 8 years old to 14 years old, all the time. And then I was practicing drums. I was getting good at it. One of my bullies heard me through my bedroom window playing, knocks on my door, and says, "Who's playing drums?" I said, "Me." He said, "No way." I said, "Yes, me." He said, "No way." So he came in and I showed him. Then he went and got his guitar. I end up joining his garage band, and I'm not bullied anymore. I found my way of belonging on this planet because of them. And from that moment on, I knew there was nothing else I wanted to do, because this is where I belonged, doing this. And when I play, whether I'm playing for Tasha Owens, or who's a local R&B artist, or Mark Farner, a rock artist that's a very famous Grand Funk, if you don't know, I played for him. It doesn't matter who I'm playing for, I'm playing that show as if my life depends on it. I play as though it is the only thing I have ever wanted to do, because it is. And if you don't have that, I'm going to be honest with you, this is hard to hear, but maybe pro isn't for you. But if you have fun and you want to play around town, amen, hallelujah, go for it, man, do it, do it, do it, do it. But if you want to go pro, I think the thing that some of those guys on YouTube were talking about soul, about grit, about this natural ability, I don't believe in a necessarily natural ability. Some guy's born playing drums. I don't know. You can make a case for that with Buddy Rich. He started playing when he was like 2-3 years old. But you can make a case for playing where it is the only thing that you really want to do. That if there was nothing you could do, you would do that. All right, I'll take you out with a little more playing. See you on the next one, guys.